Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Authentic Info Podcast. I'm your host, Admas Andele. A lot of EFF supporters and members are not comfortable in hearing the possibility of Floyd contesting for president of the EFF. But we know that the EFF leader, Julius Malema, is someone who spoke very positive about the relationship that he has with Floyd Chibambo, that he's like a brother. And even if he dies, he told his children that when he dies, the first person they call is Uncle Floyd. But we know that Julius Malema is someone who always teaches us that in politics, there are no permanent enemies and there are no permanent friends. There's nothing permanent in politics, which means anytime anything can change. And we know that. We know that there are people who have served together for long and separated because of political differences. We've seen this in Comrades of Cope. We've seen this in the UDM. The UDM had white people. Rolf Meyer, they left. So it happens in opposition parties. I've seen this in the DA. A lot of people left the DA because of political differences. So it's not easy to maintain permanent relationships in politics. So that is why he always emphasized the point that there are no permanent enemies and there are no permanent friends in politics. But in one of his interviews, he said that the friendship of him and Floyd is like that of O.R. Tambo and Mandela. They do have political differences, but they have their own way of resolving them. And I think it's something which is good. But there are those who are accusing the EFF that it has some people who wish that the EFF could be led by Floyd. But we know Floyd on the other side, or on the other hand, it states that there is nothing that cannot be achieved, or there is nothing that the EFF can achieve if he is president that they cannot achieve now that he is deputy president. Other EFF members are of the view that without the without the CIC Julius Malema, there is no EFF. Now, I think this is a problem. Building a political party around an individual becomes a problem. Are they saying that Julius Malema must die with the ANC, the EFF? They must go with it to the grave? And if they want to avoid that, they must make sure that all positions are up for contestation. Julius Malema seems to understand this very well, unless if he is playing his political games. Because we know that in politics, he's the best. In terms of playing tricks in politics, he's the best. And he has played them for the longest time and he has never lost a conference. That is a fact. The EFF will go into their next or third People's Assembly, I think in December 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And they will have to elect new leaders. What Malema is triggering them to understand is that he says when new leadership is elected in a conference, it's not a third term, it's a new term. So which means we must not count the other years. But there's another thing that I believe should be looked at in these opposition parties, especially the likes of the EFF. When they elect the leadership, they don't want the leadership to build a political party slowly. They want that leadership to take power. And which means if after 5 years they fail to beat the ruling party, they did not deliver some of the mandate which they were given by the people. Because the duty of an opposition party is not to oppose forever, but in some point to take power. And these political parties don't want to come clear to say the position of the president is not up for contestation. Even the EFF, it's not clear. They say it's up for contestation, but we know that anyone who will try to contest Malema, if they don't meet their maker, they are going to to die politically. Their career in politics is going to come to an end. It's going to perish. Because he has dealt with a lot of people who tried him along the way. That is why in the recent Sunday World interview, he said if Floyd wants to contest him, it's allowed, it's fine. But he must know that he won't win. And we know that Julius Malema will do anything to achieve what he wants. That is why he wants to be president of South Africa. And when the ANC got rid of him, he formed a new political party to achieve what he wants. So he will do anything. The way he loved the ANC, the way he spoke about the ANC, the way he believed at the ANC, no one ever thought that they will be seen wearing another political party regalia. So if he made such compromises along the way, it means that he can do anything, even in the EFF, to make sure that he achieves that appointment that he has with the future, which I think the only thing that is left is for him to be president of South Africa. Because he doesn't want to be a minister. He doesn't want to be a deputy president. When he is asked about something which the EFF is accused of, that they are planning with the deputy president of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, to help him get rid of President Ramaphosa, so that when he becomes president in 2024, they will become his deputy. Malema will be the deputy. And he disagreed with that. He says he doesn't want to be anyone's deputy because there is no other presidential material other than him. So, which means he is ready, and he is planting the idea or thoughts of readiness. Because when he speaks, he says, when everyone else is preparing for 2024 general elections, he's not worried about that. He's challenging the EFF to deliver 2024 for him or to him, because he says that he is ready to go and govern. He is ready to occupy the highest position in South Africa in union buildings. He says that he is halfway through, and he is worried. He is imagining the following day when the election results have been announced. So he will compromise anything, everything, and anyone else who will try to stop him from achieving his dream of becoming the leader or the head of state of South Africa, the president. And I think comrades of the EFF should just enter into an agreement in the next conference to say until they become the ruling party, the position of president is not up for contestation. But does Floyd deserve to be contested always? And he must make sure that he defends his position as deputy president for until the EFF comes to power or takes power. I think it's not fair. And if Malema is correct that they have that relationship of O.R. Tambo and Mandela, I think it's fair. And it should be known that their positions are not up for grabs. And anyone else can contest for anything that is left, but not president and DP. And I think the EFF is mad with this, because I think the responsibilities of the Secretary General in the EFF, majority of those responsibilities are shifted to the deputy president's position. Maybe they looked around to check, because I think Floyd should be secretary and Malema as president. But I think they compromised the duties of the secretary and they pushed them to the position of deputy president, so that it is them who are on the driving seat of the party, because they don't mind contestation of the Secretary General's position of the EFF. And I think even in the next term, in the next People's Assembly, it can anyone can occupy it because they are strategic with it. They didn't give them full responsibility. They didn't give that position full responsibility. That is my view. Because Floyd is in charge of everything. He is the brain behind. And we know that that is the role of the Secretary General's position. But I think in the AFF, that is not the case. They have shifted most of the responsibilities of the SG to the position of the DP because it is Floyd. So they are moving together like that because we know that deputy presidents are useless. In politics, deputy president is nothing. It's nothing. If the president is still around, you are nothing. It's like a deputy minister. It's nothing. So if it is correct that the relationship that they have is the one that Tambo and Mandela had, then it's something else. Maybe there's a future for the EFF. This is Authentic Info Podcast. I know fighters are going to come for me on this one. Let's engage in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's grow together. And hit the notification bell so that when I drop, you get to get my content. Thank you.